Hello Year 2, how are you? And welcome to today's maths lesson. Now over this week, we have been looking at different 2D shapes, haven't we? Different two-dimensional shapes. Now can you remember what a 2D shape is? Yes, you're right, fantastic. A 2D shape is a shape that is flat. Now we have been counting the sides and the vertices on these different 2D shapes. Can you remember what a vertex is? Can you shout it to your screen now? Fantastic. A vertex is where two lines, two sides of the shape meet. Okay, it's another word for a corner, isn't it? Well, today we are going to be drawing some of these 2D shapes. But before we do, let's warm up our brains with our flashback. So here's your flashback for today. You have 3 questions. In the first question, you need to have a look at the block diagram and work out how many red cars were seen. Then number 2, you need to calculate, so work out 10 multiplied by 8. Then in number 3, you need to find the sum, so the total of 25 and 7. So I would recommend using column addition, and you need to work out whether you need to exchange or not. So pause the video now and have a go at your flashback. Okay, Year 2, so let's go through the answers together. Let's see how you've got on. So number 1, how many red cars were seen? Well, we know in a block diagram that we have the horizontal axis, the x-axis at the bottom, which tells us the different items. So we've got red cars and we've got blue cars, but we are looking at red cars. Now, if we have a look at the y-axis, the vertical axis going up, we can see that it is going up in steps of 2. So each block represents 2 cars. Okay, now we also know that if we draw a line at the top of the block for that item, we can go over to the y-axis and see how many were seen. So let's draw a line at the top of our block for red cars, and we can see that it goes to the number 8 on the y-axis. So therefore, 8 red cars were seen. Okay, number 2, calculate 10 multiplied by 8. Well, we don't know our 8 times table, do we? But we do know our 10 times table. So what could we do, Year 2? Well, yes, we could use commutative law. We could change the parts around to make 8 multiplied by 10, because we know the 10 times table, don't we? So let's count together in steps of 10, 8 times. Will you tell me when to stop? Okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Yes, you're right. I need to stop, don't I? Because I've counted 8 steps of 10. And what did I get to? Yes, I got to 80. So there we go. 8 multiplied by 10 or 10 multiplied by 8 equals 80. Now, number 3, we need to find the sum of 25 and 7. And I recommended you use column addition. So let's start with the ones. We have 5 plus 7. Now, what is 5 plus 7? Oh, yes, it's 12, isn't it? Now, will we need to exchange, Year 2? Well, yes, we will, because if we have 10 or more in the ones column, we have to exchange. So we're going to put the 2 in the ones column and exchange the 10. There we go. So can you say our 10 that we've exchanged? So now let's add the 10s. So we have 2 10s in 25, and then we have the 1 10 that we've just exchanged. So 2 plus 1 equals, yes, 3. So there we go. 25 plus 7 equals 32. Fantastic. Well done if you got those right. So let's move on to today's learning, drawing some 2D shapes. So I am going to unshare my screen with you. There we go. Hello, Year 2, how are you? So as I said, we are going to be drawing some different 2D shapes. So let me lower my screen so you can see my piece of paper. Now, for this activity, you are going to need a ruler. Now, if you don't have a ruler, that's okay, as long as you have a straight edge that you can draw with. So it could be the edge of a book, could be the edge of anything, as long as it is straight and you can use it to draw your different shapes. Okay, so if you could pause the video now, and if you haven't got one already, could you go and get a ruler or a straight edge and a piece of paper and a pencil or pen to draw your shapes with? Okay, Year 2, so let's get on to drawing some shapes. Now, the first shape we're going to have a look at drawing is a triangle, okay? Now, let's think back to our learning that we have done over the last week. How many sides does a triangle have? Well, I remember from our lesson the other day that a triangle has 3 sides, doesn't it? And how many vertices did it have? Well, if we knew that it had 3 sides, it also has 3 vertices. There are 3 vertices on a triangle, 3 sides and 3 vertices. So I'm going to draw a triangle, and I'm going to start with my first side here. So I'm going to draw a line. Okay, there's my first side for my triangle. Now remind me, Yetu, how many sides do I need? Yes, I need 3 sides, don't I? So I'm going to create my first vertex here. Remember, a vertex is where 2 lines, 2 sides on our shape meet. Okay, so I'm going to start here at where my vertex is going to be, and I'm going to draw a line, another side, up to here. Okay, so can you see? I've got my vertex here, and that is my first vertex, but I need 3, don't I, in a triangle? But I have 2 sides already. So how many more sides do I need? Well, I need 3, and I've got 2, so I only need 1 more side, don't I? And I need to make sure that these 2 sides join together, because we can't draw our line over here, because those 2 sides wouldn't join together and it wouldn't be a triangle. So I'm going to line my ruler up, and I'm going to join these 2 sides together with my next side. So there we go. I have finished my triangle, but let's check that it is a triangle. Well, how many sides does it have? Well, we have 1 side here, we have 2 sides, and we have 3 sides. Now we circled one of our vertices, sorry, but how many vertices does a triangle need? Well, a triangle needs 3 vertices, doesn't it? So we've got 1 vertex, we've got 2 vertices, and we have got 3 vertices. So there we go, we have drawn a triangle here. But this is a regular triangle. We can also draw irregular triangles, can't we? Now, let me have a go at drawing an irregular triangle. So one that doesn't look like our regular triangle here. Now, I remember that I need 3 sides and 3 vertices. So I'm going to start by drawing a side going upwards. There we go. So there's my first side. Okay, now I'm going to create my first vertex here. So I'm going to draw a line from this side, the corner of this side, all the way over here. Okay, so there we go. Look, I've got my first vertex, and I have drawn 2 sides already. Now I need 1 more side, don't I? So I'm going to need to draw a join with this side here and here. Okay, so if I draw that, there we go. Now, have I drawn a triangle here? Well, let's have a look. So here I've got 1 vertex, then here is another vertex, and here is another one. So let's count how many vertices we have. Well, we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we definitely have the right number of vertices, but let's check we've got the right number of sides. Well, here we've got 1 side, 2 sides, 3 sides, and yes, there we go. A triangle needs 3 vertices and 3 sides. So now I would like you to pause the video and see if you could draw another triangle. Okay, make sure that it has 3 sides and 3 vertices. Pause the video now and have a go. Okay, yeah, 2. So did you manage to draw another type of triangle that wasn't like one of mine? Fantastic, well done. Well, I thought of another one. So I am going to draw this time my first side up here. Okay, so there is my first side. Now, what am I going to do next? Well, I need 3 sides and I need 3 vertices. So I'm going to create my first vertex by joining this line with this side. Okay, there we go. So there's our first vertex. And then to complete my triangle, I need 1 more side because I've got 1, 2 sides so far. So I'm going to draw another line, another side, joining these 2 sides together. And there we go. I have 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. And I have 3 vertices. 1, 2, 3. Now you might have drawn a completely different type of triangle, but as long as it's got 3 sides and 3 vertices, that is excellent. So now let's try a different type of 2D shape that we've learned about. Let's try drawing some pentagons. Now, can you remember how many sides and how many vertices a pentagon needs to have? Can you remember? Well, yes, you're right. Remember, your hand has 5 fingers on it, doesn't it? And what can you hold in your hand? Well, like I'm doing now, you can hold a pen in your hand. So therefore, 5 fingers on your hand, and there are 5 sides on a pentagon. Okay, and if it has 5 sides, it also has 5 vertices. So let me draw my first pentagon. So I'm going to start by drawing one of my sides. My side is going to go from here all the way to here. So there we go, I've got my first side. Now, how many more sides am I going to need? Well, yes, I'm going to need 4 more, aren't I? So I'm going to create my first vertex, my first vertex here. So I'm going to draw a side which goes from here all the way to here. There we go. So there we go. I have got 2 sides, 1, 2, and I've got 1 vertex so far, but I need a lot more vertexes, don't I? So I'm going to draw my next side going down like that. Okay, now make sure when you're drawing, I know I haven't done it here, but I'm going to correct it. You need to make sure that all of your sides are touching. Okay, so I've got my 3rd side here, and I've got another vertex here. So now I'm going to do the same on the other side as I've done here. So this is going to be my 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th side. So there we go. I'm going to draw that side there. So there we go. We've got another side and we've got another vertex here. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides and 1, 2, 3 vertices. So we need 2 more vertices and 1 more side. So I'm going to draw my 5th side, joining these 2 sides together. So here I have my 5th side, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertices. Okay, so there we go. We have got a heptagon because it has 5 sides and 5 vertices. Now I'm going to have a go at drawing another type of pentagon, making sure that I have my 5 sides and my 5 vertices. So my first side is going to go down. Okay, so I'm going to start up here with my ruler and go down. Okay, so there's my first side. Now I need 4 more sides, so I'm going to create my first vertex here, and I'm going to go like that. Okay, so I've got my first vertex and my 2nd side. So now I'm going to do another vertex and go inwards. Okay. There we go. So I've got now my 3rd side and my 2nd vertex. Okay, now I'm going to create another vertex. Now this confuses some of you because even though it's going inwards, it is still a vertex. Okay, and I'm going to go up to there. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and I've got another vertex here. So 4 sides and 1, 2, 3 vertices. And then I'm going to finally complete my shape, joining these 2 sides together with my next side. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertices. Okay, so there we go. I've got another pentagon because it has 5 sides and 5 vertices. So now I'd like to pause the video and have a go at drawing another type of pentagon, making sure that it has 5 sides and 5 vertices. Okay, so pause the video now and have a go.